Hello, everyone. This is Zami Eccles-Erwin from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the director of the Oregon Short Film Festival. Right now, we're gearing up for our fall 2024 season, which is going to take place on November 10th at the beautiful historic Clinton Street Theater in Portland, Oregon. It's going to be a day of networking, screening, and lots of refreshments, so please check it out. And to prepare for that, we've been talking with some of our participating filmmakers. Brandon Tyler Marx is the director behind the short film Blue. Brandon, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Blue, it's a crazy movie. It's the full package. It looks beautiful. It's chilling. It's got great performances, great sound design. Tell me, what inspired this film?
Yeah, so Blue was made at Portland State University and was part of the Advanced Production Workshop class, where we were tasked with taking a film from pitch to premiere in 10 weeks, which
Wow, okay.
seems like an impossible task and definitely felt like it at times, but I pitched being one of those films that we made in that class as kind of an opportunity to look back at COVID-19 and the isolation that a lot of us struggled with, and this
Totally.
kind of opportunity to reflect and act cathartically off of that and the struggles that we kind of went through. And I live in Portland, and the film was shot in Portland, so a lot of us also struggle with seasonal depression and know what it's
Absolutely.
like to, live through gloom and gray and, feeling blue a lot during it. So looking at those kind of two core ideas was how I pitched the project. And then I was really inspired and continue to be inspired by Yorgos Lanthimos and a lot of his earlier work, specifically in
Okay.
Dogtooth. So my crew, I gave them Dogtooth as homework for making this film, and so using that film as inspiration, and also Picasso's Blue Period was kind of like our North Star for the film. Looking at those paintings and what they look like. Sorry, everything, the production design, inspired by Picasso in that period. Both characters were pulled directly from paintings of his, and
Oh, interesting.
yeah. So, and the opening shot, the recreation of, and the art also that Blue Period. So came together to make Blue what it is.
Totally. Well, that's so interesting that you had a quick turnaround on this project, but you had strong visual references, a strong kind of a cinematic atmospheric precedent that you wanted to set. That's really cool. Tell me a little bit about the set. That's something that really took me. Is that just an old Portland apartment, or is that Desert Island, or what would you use for that?
The thing about this project is we got so lucky on so many things, and the universe and everybody around us was just giving us
Okay.
the assistant director Cindy was also her dad. That's her dad, and we got to completely use it, set up our production design, let it sit there for a couple weeks, as we're building the set, and while we're shooting, and we were able to kind of get away with a lot, which was really nice. But yeah, just a family member of a crew.
I love that. That's so cool. I mean, sometimes you just have to stumble on to these key elements, and it looks great. It looks perfect for the thing. And I think the production design is really well done. It's sparse, but it's full where it needs to be. Um, Tell me about the cast. The cast is really interesting. They do a great job of a lot of silent acting, a lot of just facial and body language things without so much dialogue. Tell me, what was that like casting these guys?
And Libby proud. And just I love both of them. They did fantastic, and it was my first time, directing actors who weren't other college students or weren't my roommates or weren't my friends. So
Totally.
to I think I had a rehearsal with each of them, and then we just got into it. And they both came with, their life experiences, and they came with ideas for their character, and it became a conversation of discovering and unearthing these characters together. Conversations of how do you think that he would fold his sweaters, or do you think that he would take the time to control the one thing that he could, like maintenance of his sweater, or that in the cupboard.
Right.
So conversations like that don't really show up on screen, or don't didn't give the audience really anything, does give them so much, because we're characterizing these characters together. And I think that
Totally.
that's how we are human. It's just these things that people don't see, and I think that they both brought that to the screen so well.
Well, that's really cool when you give them a space to sort of improvise and embody the characters. That's the kind of golden collaboration that results in a movie like this. That the performances are really striking, and
Yeah.
if they were just constrained in reading off script and trying to fulfill something that they weren't feeling, I feel like it wouldn't look nearly as great. Tell me, what
Yeah.
was the biggest challenge you had shooting this?
I think the biggest challenge was probably the time constraint.
Okay.
I also, as part of that class, we had two professors who were great, JJ and Joanna. They sort of acted as the studio, where we were regulated a little bit on things that like time limits, and we really need to see this beat here, which
Okay.
in the moment, especially so fresh off of production, when you have a first cut like a week after production, they're asking us to change around things. It's hard to detach yourself from how you felt on set and how you imagined it at the
Right.
beginning. But it turned into like a huge blessing having them there to help shape the story
Totally.
in its fundamental ways. And that was challenging. It was definitely a pressure cooker, but I think it resulted in the best product that we could have given. The version that I was able to submit was the director's cut. So we took their feedback, and
Okay. Totally.
a lot of it's still in this cut for sure, but we were able to stretch out moments that I thought were really important to let breathe and let live on and be kind of awkward, and set this weird tone. Like the mirror scene, I think it's probably my favorite moment of the film. And
Absolutely.
but that's one of those moments that only lives in the director's cut.
Okay. Well, that's cool to see that you can bounce off some valuable feedback, but that there still is that directorial, authorial assertion that you're going to make with the director's cut. And that is kind of valuable to hear that you went through the process of trimming things down, but then ultimately took a look at it and thought, actually, I want this to be weird and quirky and linger out in this area.
For
What
sure.
other takeaways did you have from this process? Anything else you learned?
I think I directed this when I was a senior in college, and when you're a senior and you're ready to graduate, you think like, oh, I've done my 4 years, I've learned what I need to learn, and now I'm like ready to go. But of course, that's not really the case. You learn, and as I'm sure I will learn more in the next one, and I'll learn even more like on my last one. So I think
Totally.
this group of people, this crew, was like a magical randomization. We didn't choose each other to work on this project. It was assigned for us by the professors, but our ability to work together, I think, was really strong. And I had never worked with a lot of the people that I worked with on this project. So learning dynamics and creating collaboration between people is, I think, important for every film set, but it was like a great opportunity for this one specifically. And I think probably my biggest takeaway was the opportunity to work with the actors that I did, and to be able to build that relationship of actor director,
Totally.
from people I'd never had met before, but that were on the set for the same sort of purpose of making this film good and great and what it could be.
Absolutely. I think that's a great takeaway. It's just sort of trusting the team, putting a little, arresting a little bit of that control, and giving it up to everyone to sort of collaborate and make something that is great, like Blue is. Well, so tell me, you've finished college. You
Yes.
made your final film. What's next for you? Do you have more shorts in the works? Do you have a feature? Anything else?
Not quite a feature, not yet.
Okay, so
But
doing shorts.
I've finished, or I'm still producing a project that is
Okay,
in post production. So that was a senior thesis for my friend and my peer named Lucy Rick. So getting that film across the finish line is my main goal right now.
okay,
I have a full time job right now as um, in like commercial advertising. So it's not narrative, which is, but now is a good opportunity to continue to learn the skills that are going to be
absolutely.
transferable. But yeah, once I'm not allowing myself really to get invested into a project until I see that other project to the finish line. Um,
Okay,
but once that's done, I have a couple scripts that my friends wrote and ideas that I'm kind of juggling, and we'll see.
excellent. Well, you got lots of irons in the fire, and you have a job that's media related. So I think you're gonna
Yeah,
kind of just be enmeshed in it. I think that's so valuable, immersing yourself in all the ways. Look at that.
that came from
Hello.
the
Well, excellent, man. Do you have anything else you'd like to add about Blue?
no, just a gratefulness to the cast and the crew and everybody that went into making this film possible. Everybody who donated to our GoFundMe, and who, yeah, just grateful.
Excellent. Well, Brandon, it's a great film. I'm very excited to play Blue on November 10th at the Oregon Short Film Festival. It's got so rich, and it's got so much detail, and it's such a beautiful looking film, and it packs a lot into just a short duration.
Yeah,
And I can't wait to see more from you, man. Thank you very much for talking with me.
thank you so much.
Take care.